have a question for black men who believe that black women kicked them out the house to receive welfare. Why didn't you go to the military? I remember a time where if a man got a woman pregnant and he couldn't afford to feed his family, he would enlist in the US military and he would get married to the woman he got pregnant, enlist in the military, and then he would be able to support his family that way. Because as you can see, as a service member, you qualify for numerous family benefits that assist with the expenses of necessary items such as education, medical care, and child care. Take advantage of all the military benefits, including adoption allowances and grants, to help pay for your children's expenses. So we all know that the women were forced to choose welfare over feeding, because of course, I don't know any mother that would not choose to feed their minor children versus feeding a grown ass able-bodied man. Okay, so it's just an unrealistic expectation. But of course, it gives them an excuse to blame black women for their shortcomings. They have been doing this since slavery, okay? And so my question has always been, why did you not go to the military if it was that important to you? Because the military would have kept the families together. That's what guys used to do when they were actually serious about caring for their kids and their wives versus making excuses. And then also, if you could not find a job due to what you claim to be systemic racism, then why are black men allowed to use systemic racism as an excuse to not be able to find a job, which is why they could not provide for their families? But at the same time, black women are not allowed to use systemic racism as a reason they chose welfare, because the racist welfare system told them that they could not have a man in a house if they were going to be supporting their families or supporting their children. So why are black men allowed to use systemic racism in this instance, but black women aren't? I've never understood why black women got blamed for that, as if we wrote the fucking rules to the man in the house rule. As if we collectively said, hey y'all, let's make up a rule that we have to get rid of the men in our lives in order to accept this aid from the government. Black women didn't do that shit. The system did. So why the fuck are people on this app blaming black women for accepting aid over their husbands? And some of these dudes wasn't even their husbands, because truth be told, all they had to do was marry the women who they was trying to shack up and lay with. That's the part of the story that they leave out. Most of the guys who were in the house, the initial father had already abandoned the children, which is why they were eligible for welfare in the first place. These other men wanted to come in and lay up off of a woman and help her spend her welfare check, an able-bodied working man. And then they collectively get on this app and say, oh, they kicked us out for welfare. So I don't know if y'all realize this, but if you are a black man who is on this app screaming to the world that black women kicked you out of the house for welfare, you're basically saying, in translation to other cultures, I was not capable of providing for my family, and so I left, versus finding a solution, versus going to the military, versus handling my business as a man. So you think you're throwing black women under the bus, but in reality, you're just telling everybody that we can't depend on you all as men to provide. I hope you know that.